Okay, fantastic. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to move to the next place where you really want to show real, meaningful, authentic interest in your customers, right? So let's have a look as we get started, right? First of all, when you're trying to collaborate or integrate into your customers' businesses, you obviously need your customers or for them to allow you to integrate, to become an additional resource to them. The first thing that they want is they're going to need to know you, like you, and trust you. So all your efforts must be focused on creating trust. Now remember, arriving 1 minute late for a meeting does not build trust. When you promise to do something and you agree to meet a deadline and you don't meet that deadline, breaks trust. We all have what we call our personal billboard. It's the way we show up, all right? So think about yours, your billboard, everything that you do, all your interactions, all your negotiations, all your meetings, every single interaction that you have with your customers must be designed around trust. In other words, do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. Never arrive late for a meeting, etc. So earn trust. Remember, trust is earned. And if you want to integrate into somebody's business, you want to become an additional resource, it all starts with trust. Next, you want to learn to probe effectively. So unless you can dig, unless you can uncover each customer's unique needs, values, and expectations, it's very difficult for you to understand or discover ways to authentically integrate into every single customer's business. Because unless you know what their needs, their values, and their expectations are, and how to connect those specific needs, values, and expectations to just that part or that specific part of your value proposition in a way that the customer understands, you're never going to earn trust. You're also never going to be able to uncover those innovative, creative, amazing ways where you can become that additional resource to your customers. Next, you want to make sure that you listen to your customers' answers. Remember, it's no good asking loads of questions, because unless you're going to actively engage, unless you're going to actively listen to your customers, because remember, right from the beginning, you need to show that you're there to help. You need to show that you authentically want to find ways to integrate, to become that additional resource. You need to probe, ask questions, but most importantly, your customer wants to feel heard. So when you ask those questions, you need to actively listen, nod, even look down, take notes, and show the customer how important what they're saying actually is. And when you can do all of those things, it becomes so much easier, first of all, to identify opportunities to integrate, to become an additional resource, but it also shows your customer how sincere you are. It shows your customer that you are authentically there, wanting to help them, wanting to integrate into their business, wanting to become that additional resource to them. Next, you want to understand your own value proposition, because remember, if you don't understand your value proposition, no matter how well you inquire, how well you probe, how well you question and discover, if you don't know how your value proposition or all the opportunities, benefits offered by your value proposition, you'll be unable to connect what you can do to what your customer actually needs. So really go dig, really go uncover, what is it that your product really does? Remember, when someone buys a 5mm drill bit, they're not buying a drill bit, they're buying a hole. When somebody buys a camera, they're not buying a place or a means of taking photos, they're buying a device to store memories. So think about your own product, your own service. What is it that you actually do? In other words, if you had to describe your product in terms of your customer, what's in it for them? What does your product actually do for them? And find a way to connect that value to your customer's specific needs, values, and expectations, and and selling becomes really, really simple. You want to ensure that you make your customers an integral part of the solution you provide. Okay, so let's think about that. Obviously, in order to integrate into our customers' businesses, in order to become an additional resource to them, we obviously need to have trust at 10 out of 10. We need to have a deep understanding of who the customer is, what their specific needs, values, and expectations are. We need to understand our value proposition and how it connects to that. And then finally, any solution that we are going to provide to our customer, we must make sure that the customer is an integral part of that solution. So our solution mustn't be a surface solution, it must be one that integrates. In other words, it shows our customers how we sincerely want to help them integrate and really become that additional resource to their organization. We want to explore our customers' businesses and find innovative ways to integrate into their businesses so that we can become that additional free resource to them. Now think about that. What can you do in your specific industry, in your markets, the customers you work with? What can you do to become an additional resource? What can you do that is supplemental or complementary to your product or service that is going to help your customers? Give that some deep thought, and integrating into their businesses, becoming that additional resource, forming that long-term mutually beneficial partnership with them becomes simple.